have to admit, this year looks pretty stacked for movies. Yes, that's right, it is the year 2024, which means I have to watch a new variety of movies and review all of them. Some of them I will watch from home, others I will watch in theaters, and I will have a ton of fun doing so, regardless if I love or hate the films. And what better way to discuss my most anticipated movies of 2024 other than through a tier list? I love doing these. I think it's more enjoyable than making a top 10, but if you are interested in seeing what my actual top 10 most anticipated movies of 2024 are in order, go to my Instagram. That is Cinema with Sven. I ranked 1 through 10 right there. Most anticipated of 2024 in order for you. That's for you impatient people. For those of you who are patient, you're in the right spot. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's go through each and every single one of these movies that I have in this tier list and rank them from tier S all the way down to tier F in terms of how anticipated I am for them this year. And also keep in mind that not every single movie coming out this year is going to be on this tier list. If I missed any big movies, definitely let me know down below in the comment section. And so we begin with Saw 11. Well, I've actually never seen any of these movies because I've heard they are torture porn, and I just don't enjoy those types of movies, so I'm just going to put it in F because I probably won't see it. Bad Boys, 4 is here. I watched the first one, still have to watch the second and third, but I like the first one a lot, and I've heard good things about 2 and 3, so I'm going to put this in C tier. As for Mickey 17, well, it was just reported that Mickey 17, Bong Joon-ho's next big movie, is indefinitely delayed, which is super disappointing because I had it in my top 10 originally. So I'm going to have to place Mickey 17 in F automatically because as much as I am anticipated for this movie, we have no idea if it's even coming out this year. I would have put it in S tier otherwise. So this next one is Ballerina. I really enjoy the John Wick movies, but I don't know if I'm that excited for a ballerina film that has nothing to do with John Wick, and I know it's starring Ana de Armas. I mean, that's pretty cool, so I think for that reason, just because of her, because it's in the John Wick universe, I'll put it in B tier. The Fall Guy is about Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, where he plays a stuntman, and I guess she's his assistant or love interest or something. The trailer looked okay. I'm going to put it in C tier. Whatever. Now, Deadpool 3, I think you're crazy if you don't have this movie in S tier for most anticipated movies of the year. So, Deadpool 3 is going to hang right there in S tier. Gladiator 2, same thing. I mean, S tier, without a doubt. One of my favorite movies of all time, the first Gladiator film. I'm shocked that Ridley Scott is making a sequel after 24 years? That's crazy, but hey, I hope this movie is great. I'm very excited for this. Out of all of these films, this is my most anticipated of 2024. Then we have another Garfield movie, but this time the voice is Chris Pratt, who seems to be voicing a lot of animated characters in the last few years. I'm going to put it in D tier. I don't care. I really don't care. Beetlejuice 2, never was a huge fan of the first one, so that's also going to go in D tier. It is what it is. Despicable Me 4, I would say B tier. I do really like the first 3, so I don't mind getting a 4th film. I think it'll be fun and enjoyable, but probably nothing great. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I think this movie has potential to be one of the best of the franchise so far. So I'm going to put that in A tier because, I think Dawn is one of the best movies of the last decade. I did really enjoy the first one and the third one, War, but they're not as good as Dawn. Either way, I think this movie, based on the trailer at least, it looks like it has potential to be a really good addition to the Planet of the Apes franchise, so I'm excited. Twisters, I could see this movie being good, but it really pisses me off they're making a remake or whatever the heck they're doing, a reboot to the Twister movie, which I think is a heck of a lot of fun with Bill Paxton. So I'm going to have to put this one in F tier. Just, there's no reason for this movie to exist. Wicked, never saw the musical. Don't really have too much interest in musicals. Furiosa, this looks really good. I'm definitely putting this all the way up in S tier. Mad Max Fury Road, again, one of the best movies of the last decade. I think it has a lot of potential to replicate what made that movie so great. So Furiosa, definitely S tier. This is Terrifier 3. I have not seen the first two because I just refuse. It's like Saw. I just refuse to watch torture porn and all that blood and gore. It's nauseating. So I'm going to put that in F tier because I probably won't be able to sit through that. The Bike Riders, this movie looked okay. I'm going to put this movie in B tier. Tom Hardy, one of my favorite actors, and Austin Butler. You got a great duo right there. Joker 2, this is going to go in, we're going to put this in A tier. The reason I was hesitating there is because I don't know if I'm super ecstatic about the movie being supposedly a musical. I have no idea why they would opt to make this a musical after the first one was by no means anywhere close to a musical. So that makes me very hesitant on having any anticipation for the movie. But also, I loved the first Joker. It was my favorite movie of the year it came out, 2019. So therefore, it has to just go in A tier. It has to. Arthur the King. This was the Mark Wahlberg dog movie. I like dog movies, so it goes in C tier. I can't complain about a dog movie ever. Dune Part 2. This movie should have come out last year, but because of the actor's strike, we know it got delayed to this year. This is definitely going into, I'm going to say A tier. First movie was really good. Borderline great. If I watch it again, which I will be before the second one, I'm sure I'll like it even more. One of the best looking movies I've ever seen. Denis Villeneuve, one of the greatest directors working in modern cinema. So there's a lot to be excited for Dune Part 2. Imaginary looked like another typical Blumhouse horror movie. D tier. Whatever. It'll be fine. Probably better than some of the recent ones they've put out, but whatever. Mean Girls, a musical. That actually comes out this weekend. I don't care. F tier. Sorry. The movie If, the new John Krasinski movie, it looks cool. I'm going to put it in B tier. I don't know if it'll be incredible, but John Krasinski is a great director. I love what he's done so far directing-wise, so I have some reasons to be excited for that movie. This is the new Alien movie that's coming out this year, whatever the heck it's called. You know what? I still have to watch Alien Covenant. I have seen Prometheus. I've seen Alien and Aliens. All very good movies. But, you know what? They all are kind of the same thing. At least when you get to the Prometheus parts of the franchise, it's like you're doing the same thing over and over again. Oh, this one is called Alien Romulus. That's right. Yeah, this will be fine. I'll put this in B tier. I can't complain about getting another Alien movie, but either way, what else can they really do new with this franchise? I don't see them thinking outside of the box with another Alien film. Civil War is next. This is coming out in the worst time possible, which makes me even more excited for it. Plus, Alex Garland is directing the movie, so I'm putting it in A tier. Why would you release this movie during an election year? That is a terrible idea. A recipe for a disaster. Oh well. Inside Out 2, also going to go into A tier, because the first movie was really, really damn good. And let's be real here, Pixar is not as good as they once were. I'm hoping that Inside Out 2 can revive their brand a little bit more. It's been a while since I've watched a Pixar movie that I absolutely love. I think the last one was Soul, and if you don't count that movie, probably Finding Dory or the first Inside Out, one of those two. This next one is The Lord of the Rings, The War of whatever. I think this movie is animated, and therefore that makes me less interested in it. I just don't have much anticipation for an animated Lord of the Rings movie. I'm sorry, I don't. Madam Web, the trailer for this movie was horrible. I'm just going to have to put this in F tier. I don't care about Marvel movies or anything like that anymore. I really don't. The Karate Kid, this is maybe a reboot. Nobody knows right now, but We know the original actor from The Karate Kid and Jackie Chan are going to be in this movie, which is pretty sick. So I think I'm going to have to put this movie in B tier. Godzilla X Kong. I mean, listen, the first Godzilla movie is great from 2014. One of my favorite monster movies. But then after that, this franchise went off the rails. If you ask me, I think every single movie has gotten worse and worse. I can't imagine this one is any better. I wasn't a fan of Godzilla vs. Kong. So this is going to go in D tier. I don't care. Why do we need another ridiculous Godzilla installment? We don't. Okay, and then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, or what's this one called? Oh yeah, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. My bad. Let's see. If I had to be a betting man, I would guess that Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse does not come out in 2024. I'm just going to say this movie's coming out in 2025. So again, just like Mickey 17, for all the unknowns, I'm putting this movie in F tier because I don't think it's coming out this year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this and Mickey 17 will both come out in 2024. If that's the case, I'll feel like an idiot. But based off the facts we know right now, I just don't see how either of these films make it happen. Beverly Hills Cop 4. I've never seen these movies. I've seen clips. My dad loves them though, and I'm sure I will see the first, second, and third before this one releases on, Netflix, I think. So I'm going to put this into C tier because from what I've seen, I've really enjoyed the movies. They seem like very funny, and Eddie Murphy is great. So C tier it is for that. The new Nosferatu movie from Robert Eggers, a director that I am very fond of. I'm going to have to put this into A tier. That's going to be a really good movie. Every single movie that Eggers has come out with so far, I thought was borderline great too. So Nosferatu should be another solid addition to his filmography. A Quiet Place, Day 1. Definitely going to be an S tier. I love the first movie. The second movie might have been even better. And this is a prequel to both of those, putting us back in the day the aliens came to planet Earth. I think that's super sick, so I can't wait for that one. Argyle. This is the Bryce Dallas Howard, Henry Cavill, and Matthew Vaughn directed movie that's coming out early next month. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm a huge fan of the Kingsman movies, so I'm going to put this in B tier, even though it has nothing to do with Kingsman, but it has a similar style. And then you have the new Ghostbusters movie, Frozen Empire. I liked Afterlife, and I really enjoy the original Ghostbusters movie as a classic. So this is going to go in B tier too. I don't think it's going to be a classic like the first one, but it should be good. Kung Fu Panda 4. Definitely going to put this into A tier. I am a massive fan of the first two movies, and the third one was pretty good too. I could see this being better than the first two movies, which would be very difficult to top, but there is a possibility there. But also I could see this being maybe just as good as the third one, or a little bit worse. Because Kung Fu Panda 4 is a movie that could be extremely safe. Kung Fu Panda 3 proved to me that this franchise still works, regardless of what the story is, but at the end of the day, they could just keep making the same movie over and over again and slightly changing storylines, maybe making the theme different this time around. It's going to be a good one, I'm sure. That's almost guaranteed from this franchise at this point, but I also am not going to put this into S tier because Kung Fu Panda 3 was underwhelming compared to the first two, but still good. This next one is Mufasa. It's the sequel to the Lion King live action movie. I don't care about this. This is going to go into D tier. And then this next one, I already forget the name of it. It's a movie that's coming out in May. It's a biography of a singer I've never listened to one song from. So, I mean, unfortunately for her, it's going to have to go into F tier. I apologize for that. Borderlands. You know what? This is going to go in the B tier. I've heard mixed reactions to the castings from diehard Borderlands fans. I've never played the games, but from what I've seen clip-wise, from the game itself, it looks really cool and like a game I'd probably enjoy if I ever played it. But I've heard from the diehard fans that the casting is really bad, so that makes me a little bit antsy. I'm not sure if the movie itself will be all that great. We know that video game movies in recent years have been better, but also I have yet to see a movie that's based on a video game that I was blown away by. I'm not sure if Borderlands will be the first video game movie to do that. Next up is Challengers. This is the tennis movie with Zendaya and two men that she's caught in the middle of. I'm going to put this in B tier. It looks good. Kraven the Hunter with Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's apparently R-rated, so that makes me more excited. This will also go into B tier. I do like me some R-rated superhero movies. Transformers 1, this is an animated Transformers movie that brings us back to the beginning of Optimus Prime's story with Megatron. I mean, that's cool, but I also don't really care that much about this franchise anymore, so I'm going to put that in C tier. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, another B tier movie. Again, it's going to be a video game movie that's good, that gets a lot of things right for the Sonic character and his story, but it's not going to break any grounds. I won't be putting this movie on my top 10 best of the year, I can guarantee you that, but nevertheless, it's going to be a solid time just like the first two, I'm sure of that. Venom 3. This franchise, I think, is good in a way that it's so bad that it's good. So, like, C tier, I guess. I really do want to be excited for Venom 3, but how can I? The first movie was okay. The second movie was okay. They're fine. This franchise is fine. But it could have been so much more. The last movie I have here is Horizon. It is the Kevin Costner two-part Western film. So we're going to get part 1 in June and part 2 in August. This movie looks sick from just the posters, and Kevin Costner being on board is super exciting. So I'm going to put this movie in A tier because I love me some Western films, especially ones that take place in the old Wild West. Plus you have Kevin Costner as the lead. It's bound to be an epic experience at the movie theaters. Okay, so there you have it. That is my tier list for 2024 movies based on my anticipation for them. Again, to reiterate, my S tier is Deadpool 3, Gladiator 2, Furiosa, A Mad Max Saga, and A Quiet Place, Day 1. I also would have put Mickey 17 in my S tier if the movie was not delayed all the way to whenever. We have no idea when the movie's coming out. So I had a lot of anticipation for that one. Now that we don't know if it's coming out this year or not, I could not put that in S tier, so I had to go into F tier by default. And then A tier, we'll just go through that again real quick. You got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Joker 2, Doom Part 2, Civil War, Inside Out 2, Nosferatu, Kung Fu Panda 4, and then Horizon. Again, this year looks like it's going to be pretty damn good for movies. I'm hoping this is the best year for film thus far since pre-COVID. It's been a while since we've had a year that I've fallen in love with a ton of movies that came out. So let's hope for the best in 2024 in film. So guys, are there any films I missed putting on this tier list? And if you were to make a tier list for yourself for 2024 films, what would you put in your S and A tier? Let me know in the comments. And of course, as always, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you all next time.